Good morning. My name's Tom, and today I'd like to talk to you about the Trump Zelensky press conference. Um, and before you actually listen to people's takes on it, I encourage you to actually make an effort to try to sit through that press conference. You can watch the whole thing without people interrupting you, or your viewing experience, and telling you what this means or what that means. You could just watch the whole thing uninterrupted on C-SPAN's YouTube channel, and I think that might be helpful. So, what happened? Well, Trump and Zelensky came out. They had a tentative agreement with U.S. aid to Ukraine, rare earth minerals coming to the U.S., and they were planning on signing it after lunch. Trump made his opening statement, said nice things, and then Zelensky made his opening statement, thanked the United States profusely, and said nice things. And he, as you know, a head of state, provided a warning to the world about the importance of not appeasing a dictator and making concessions to a dictator. He called Putin a murderer and a crazy person in front of Trump, and that's kind of when the energy in the room shifted a little bit. And I think that's because Trump, openly admires Vladimir Putin. But he held it together for a little bit. And then, as the press conference progressed, Trump, because he likes to compare himself to everybody else, said the U.S. had contributed so much more than everybody else. And Zelensky, politely, as somebody who has to engage in diplomacy with all these other countries, corrected Trump and said those countries gave a lot and some of them gave more. Before somebody says that's not true and throws dollar amounts out there, I will say Denmark is putting, I believe it's more than 1.5% of their GDP at supplying Ukraine. And in terms of, available wealth, they are really outpacing the United States. They may not have as many dollar bills to spend on aircraft or armor, but they're throwing a lot more of their overall economy at supplying Ukraine because they understand they're next. So that's where things started going off the rails. You just badmouthed the man that Trump admires because you called him a murderer and a dictator and a crazy person. And Trump had to sit there and take it. But then when you say somebody else did better, that's something Trump just simply can't accept. And then suddenly it reverted to an extortion attempt instead of a diplomatic attempt. With J.D. Vance playing the role of skull to Trump's bulk, is saying, yeah, you need to be grateful, you got to be thankful. And it's like, the guy's been thankful. He's publicly, profusely, privately, on camera, and in writing thanked the United States and the people of the United States. You were getting what you want. You were getting it diplomatically. But you heard things you didn't like, and now you couldn't hold it together, and you threw away your victory. And now the Trump administration is claiming that this was a win for them. But that's twice now that they've turned a diplomatic effort to get rare earth minerals from Ukraine into an extortion attempt. And that's twice now that effort has failed. And you can bet that the enemy, or at least you could say hostile nations to the United States, are delighted at this. Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, this, that, and the other. I mean, Trump started telling Ukraine, you don't have the cards, you have to do this. And now they're wondering who else doesn't have the cards. Because Trump is in full blown appeasement mode now. He wants to appease them. You know, Taiwan comes to mind. What happens if China says, you know what, we're going to invade Taiwan? Because we're betting Trump's going to say they don't have the cards and they have to accept this. You know? Ukraine lost a little bit on this, in that this is going to damage their efforts to get U.S. aid. In fact, Ukraine has publicly said it's critical that they get aid from the United States after this failed press conference, this breakdown in diplomacy. But I think that's more because it would be easier if they got the United States on board. Because right now, Europe is one step closer to accepting the idea that they need a European alliance, because the U.S. is a fair weather friend and is not going to be worth having as an ally, at least for the next 4 years. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments, and have a great day.